Hey everyone, it's Josh. We've had a lot of people messaging us asking if tickets for the live show in Colorado Springs on August 4 are still available. They are. So there's a link down in the notes to get those tickets, and we look forward to seeing you there. On with the show. When is the last time that any of you actually logged on to Facebook?
Oh, today.
Yeah, no, I'm on it actually
Literally today.
Regularly.
Really?
Yeah, somewhat. I mean, I don't do anything, but I do kind of check in every day, yeah.
I check in every day mostly because it is my sole communication device to contact Brian on. So I log in to chat with him there.
You know
That's
that you could
on Facebook. That's
you could contact him you have his phone number.
I know, but it's honestly just habit at this point.
But you do it on in your browser on Facebook, not using the Messenger app?
I kind of do both. I do if I'm on the couch, I use the Messenger app.
It's a totally separate thing.
It's connected to Instagram too.
Hold on, AJ, you get on your computer.
Yeah.
And you type in www.facebook.com.
I'm sure he does not
like it's
type
fucking
it in, Josh.
2008.
//
I mean, I have to wait for my modem to boot up, but it ties up the phone for hours, but it's always nice to know what my high school teacher is doing, namely dating their students.
So many possible worlds, but we got this one. So many possible worlds, but we got this one.
Welcome to the Worst of All Possible Worlds, the first and only podcast that ties up your phone line. I'm the worst of all possible AJs.
I'm the worst of all possible Brians.
And I'm the worst of all possible Joshes. Well, this is an El Clasico episode, right? It's just the three of us.
It's a
We're hanging out.
Classico episode where we all take an L.
We've already cut 3 minutes that will never be heard by anyone.
Folks, we had some real bad ideas for the opening.
Truly awful ones. You could probably guess what they are.
And by I mean AJ.
But today we are here to dive deep into our past and unlock some cringe, Josh. And I believe this is your idea.
I've been wanting to do an episode for a while about the internet and internet culture. We do these every so often. What we haven't done before is talk specifically about the way that communication works through a specific platform. Before this, we've generally been doing case studies in pieces of media. So we did that episode where we talked about YouTube apology videos.
Yeah.
And the way that sort of the apology is framed up in video format. But here I wanted to be even more, close to the...
Teat.
Try to play sociologist a little bit, I guess.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That's what, I think it was Harlan Ellison had those essays about television called The Glass Teat.
Oh, yes.
And then he later made a follow-up called The Other Glass Teat.
And the glass teat that we are most interested in is, of course, the glass teats of Shrimp Jesus. And we're going to get there a little bit later on in this episode. We're going to talk about sort of the rise of bizarre AI art and the way that it's basically consumed Facebook as a platform.
Yeah.
But because this is the worst of all possible worlds, we have to start at the beginning by talking
Blame the
about
Bible.
what it was like to use Facebook in the year of our Lord, 2006.
Oh, is that a distant European boys choir I hear? Singing the greatest hits of Radiohead?
I'm a creep. Yes, we are covering the same territory that Aaron Sorkin famously covered in The Social Network. But unlike that, it involves the three of us.
Right.
Because we are delving into our own odyssey because we are ourselves Facebook users from the long distant past of 2006, Josh, as you were saying.
Yeah.
Brian,
Not
you
me.
came in a little bit later.
Not me. Yeah, I got on MySpace.
Oh, yeah.
Hell yeah.
2006, 2007, and I feel like I was later to MySpace than most of my friends. And I was like, another fucking one of these things. I don't give a shit. And then when I was a senior, I found out that Facebook had instant messaging, which MySpace had, but it was like an opt-in thing that most people didn't opt into.
So that was when you were a senior in high school.
Yeah, when I was a senior in high school, 2009, because I'm younger than both of you.
By a whole year. Which honestly,
It matters to the Lord.
It also matters in terms of this particular time period, right? Like even people that are very close to me in age, the things that we like experience media-wise can be completely different. Like ask somebody like what do they watch on Nickelodeon or what did they watch on Cartoon Network? What do they watch on Disney? And even people who are like 2 or 3 years apart will give you completely different answers.
That's the case both with media like on TV and stuff, and of course on the internet, because the internet was moving so fucking quickly at this point. To your point, Brian, like you got your start, I guess, with social media on MySpace. I was more of a Zanga kid. I don't know if you remember Zanga.
My sister was a Zanga kid. Yeah.
There were really two sort of social media blog platforms that people would use, either Zanga or LiveJournal. And generally speaking,
They're
was
basically
one
the same
or
thing.
the other. And they are basically the same thing. Yeah. The big difference between them is just sort of the communities that tended to form within those platforms. And notably, LiveJournal is still around today, whereas Zanga is very much not.
I believe George R.R. Martin still uses LiveJournal.
Really?
Yeah, that's kind of like what he's known for is still using LiveJournal, and I think he still writes all of his books on like a DOS PC that has no internet.
At that point, 2005, 2006, that was sort of the core of what social media was. It was synonymous with blogging. Blogging was, you would go onto the internet, you would type in a journal entry, you would post that journal entry to the web, and then people could comment on it, or in the case of Zanga, they could give you e-props. And the whole idea... Do you remember e-props, AJ?
I don't. But it's just like, how did this website fail? Well, let's look at the list and e-props. There it is. It's gone. It's immediately destroyed.
E-props, of course, could be very easily exchanged for Kool-Aid proofs of purchase,
e-ploids,
shooty bucks.
Yep.
I mean, did they do anything? Were they like little
e-props?
E-props.
No.
Were they stickers that you could put up on your page?
No, it was literally
it was
like
a like.
when you it was a like. When you left a comment on somebody's post on Zanga, you could give them 0, 1, or 2 e-props. So like
what a
0
scale.
So 0 was like, this is shit actually, and I'm leaving a comment to rub salt in the wound. 1 e-prop was like, this is a replacement level post. 2 e-props is like, you fucking killed it.
I love that it's like the Michelin star. Like,
yes. Yes.
Yep.
And it's interesting that you mentioned that it is like likes, because e-props were around long before likes existed on Facebook. Likes didn't come along for Facebook until 2009.
Yeah,
and we're going to talk a bit about that later.
Yeah, because it is funny going back and looking at all my posts from like 2006 to 2009, and there's no likes, there's no comments on them. And actually, it doesn't look like I'm posting at all because I'm going to my friends' pages and posting there.
Yeah.
So what you get is a lot of one-sided conversations where people are just
the
communicating
other
with
person
you.
Talking to you.
Yeah, because I had this tick where I would sign all of my posts like I was writing a little email or a letter, right?
Were you on the forums, AJ? Were you on message boards?
I was never on message boards. I did.
Wow.
I did.
If you
so
had,
you just have a disease then. Okay.
Well, no. I thought I was writing a letter.
No, if you'd been on message boards, then people would have dragged your ass for signing your posts, and you would have learned to never actually do that.
Or you would. I mean, but you have signatures on message boards, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, but they append automatically. You're not typing in, love AJ, which I guess you were on Facebook.
Nope. So much worse. So much more cringe. Oh boy, this episode.
Oh boy.
So when I was in 3rd grade, my teacher was having a very rough day, I guess, and decided to put on a movie for us. And the movie he decided to put on was The Man in the Iron Mask, starring Leonardo DiCaprio.
For
not
third
a movie,
graders?
For 3rd graders. Very not a movie that was meant for us. I think it was because there might have been a school shooting that was happening. Anyway, it was
in real life.
Like there was like our school was
so they
an
just
open
didn't
school.
tell you, and they just had you watch.
That seemed to be the case.
We had that with a bomb threat in high school once, where they just rang the bell for a really long time. We stood outside like it was a fire drill, and then the superintendent came out and was like, "Go to lunch."
I think that happened to my school too one time. Now that I think about it.
Well, because what would happen was our school was an open school, so it was just like outside, and there were buildings, right? So people could like just wander the campus, and if a strange man wandered the campus, the whole school would go into lockdown, and you'd like put down the blinds or whatever. Like I feel like a lot of like people who went to school in the more recent years, like obviously know what an active shooter drill was, but we were having those when I was a kid too. It just wasn't to this extent. Like,
There's a man named Tony Hawk. He was showing up and grinding some rails.
Here's the thing. He lived in Encinitas, which was 20 minutes from my middle school. So yeah. Anyway,
The man was a menace. He was doing manuals around all of the rooftops, and then it caused them to cave in, and it opened up a separate section of the school.
Every single bell at AJ's school destroyed because Tony Hawk would ride the wall and knock the bell right off of its
We're
hinges.
just finding VHS tapes everywhere.
He kept stealing all of our giant letters that were riddled about the school. But yeah, so we were watching The Man in the Iron Mask, and I was so bored. I was like, what is the way that I can make this thing funny to me? And I was like, what if the mask were fuzzy? So I made up this character
fucking way.
called The Man in the Fuzzy Mask.
Okay.
And if you look at all of my social media now, it's a variation of the Fuzzy Masked Man or the Fuzzy Mask. So when I would sign things on people's Facebook walls, it would not be as AJ. Oh no. It would be as the man in the blank mask. So I would take something in the comment above, something we were talking about,
that is very
and then
Zanga
translating
coded.
that into a mask.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Huh.
I had surprisingly a lot of friends.
Oh,
despite that.
Based on the Facebook posts that people were leaving on your wall in those early years, I can confirm that at the very least they were trying to be or appearing to be your friends in terms of social interaction online.
Friends and admirers.
But
Insane.
let's sort of move here from the blog era where the whole point was like you make a post, people respond to those posts, and generally speaking these are long form posts where you're saying, a bunch of things or blogging about your day or whatever, to Facebook. So Facebook was founded in February 2004 on the campus of Harvard University. And if you want to learn more about that, go watch The Social Network starring Jesse Eisenberg. But what ended up happening was it pretty quickly grew. It later ended up being available to all of the Ivy League universities, and then to all universities across the United States, and then all high schools across the United States. And once it became available to high schools, I signed up pretty quickly because I wanted to be an early adopter and see what this thing was all about.
Right.
So the first thing was the idea of a network. And in this context, a network is basically what is the overarching affiliation or organization that you are a part of.
Yeah.
So originally, the concept of a network existed for what school did you go to? And so you'd be in the fucking Harvard network, and then you can see how many other people were in the Harvard network that you were connected to or whatever. And then they added additional networks eventually for things like what high school did you go to, what company did you work for, and stuff like that. And this concept, I think, has been completely deprecated from the platform now. I don't think you can even be in a network anymore.
Yeah, no, it's all just sort of the big worldwide one, I'd imagine. What started as very much a networking tool to get you a place in the wider business world, then became a social hub.
Yeah. Well, and that's what a Facebook is, right? That's an actual term for recruitment and things like that, where you're going through your binder full of women, much like Mitt Romney did.
Wow.
He had multiples of those. And you have pictures of, headshots and whatever as you're going through the Facebook of whatever. And,
I still have my dad's Facebook from Calvin. They called it the Bod Book.
Why did they do that?
I don't know, because you couldn't
Josh,
see
why
their
did they do
bodies.
that, Josh?
It was just their faces.
Because
It wasn't a bod book at all.
They had some real hot bods. That's what I'm learning.
The function of a Facebook, as broadly outlined, is that you can page through it and see who's hot, right? And then you can be oh, they're in that dorm. I should go hit them up so that we can go to the... What the fuck was the thing?
Box Social.
The point is that in its original incarnation, the way that profiles existed on Facebook were pretty much a place to put all of your interests. Because if people saw you on their school's Facebook and then clicked through to your profile based on your, picture, they could then see, oh, this person also likes badminton. I don't know why I use that as an example, but
Very similar to MySpace, right?
Yeah.
Only with the network aspect added onto this, and also with MySpace, you could code your page like a web page. You know, add backgrounds, add design elements, change the way it looked. And
You can do that on Zanga too.
Okay, and with Facebook, no sir, it all fits in the template.
Right.
Yeah.
However, within the confines of that template, it was pretty customizable, especially once they started adding apps, and you could like have like, here's a little box that has my favorite song in it, and that sort of thing.
Oh, sure.
It
Okay.
wasn't that way for very long.
Yeah.
But there was this brief period of time where you could make your Facebook profile as representative of yourself as you wanted it to be.
Right, and they stole that song thing from MySpace. Like the thing about MySpace,
I stole a lot of stuff from MySpace.
Yeah. Because MySpace made you rank your friends and
Yeah, you
choose
had
a top
your-
5.
Top 8 or 4. It was all like multiples of 4. I think you could choose up to 24 to be in your top. That would appear right on your page when someone clicked on it.
Yeah, and you could also like list your favorite albums. Like, you know, MySpace, the design of it like was very appealing, I think, you know, especially for a high school kid. And Facebook felt like the cool new thing.
Yes.
You know, I had MySpace for a very long time and I used Zanga for a very long time, but Facebook seemed to sort of streamline everything I liked out of both of those things into one platform.
Well, and-
so
and-
I stopped using MySpace.
Facebook was also very sleek at the time. It was very like, you know, the idea of Web 2.0, where we were moving away from static web pages and toward interactive web applications. Facebook was very much a dynamic and responsive web application that you could do a lot more with.
Yeah, Time Magazine put the shittiest mirror on their cover. They were like, do you see this vaguely reflective aluminum foil? That's you. You're the man of the year.
I used it to store my cheese in the fridge. Just wrapped it up in that.
You wrapped it up in the monitor that was the picture for the Time Magazine cover, AJ?
Yeah.
Your cheese?
Yeah.
The cheese that you saved?
Yeah. Me and my 5th grade cheese.
Uh-huh. You were not okay. Fifth grade?
When was the cover? I thought it was like, when was
It
it?
was 2006.
All right, then my 16 my junior year cheese.
It was
Are
a
you happy
long
now?
5th grade.
It was a long really, I was in 4th grade and then 5th grade until college.
He kept getting flunked
And then I
because
was
he
in
couldn't
college.
remember the name of the man in the iron mask, which was the
Yeah.
only thing his teacher would quiz them on.
Oh, sorry,
no.
God. Sorry, it's
Did you just get a poke, AJ?
oh God, I got
Oh.
another one. What's that all about, Josh?
Oh, well, maybe you received a feature of Facebook called the Poke. Do you remember Poke Wars?
Right, it was right under the.
Oh,
It
yeah.
was right under the lick. You could get a lick or a poke. That is.
But yes,
I'm not telling the truth
the,
here.
The Poke. We gotta mention the Poke.
Yeah.
Because
Is that still hidden somewhere? Like, can
you can
still poke
people.
Okay.
I'm gonna go see
you
if I can
gonna
poke you
poke
right
me?
now.
You
I'm gonna try.
motherfucker. Don't you
Let me see
dare.
real quick. I'm gonna go Brian Alford
Live
on
in the
Facebook.
Zencaster.
See if I can send you a poke here. Oh, I don't see a poke. There's gotta be a poke. button.
Hell yeah. No, you will
They're
never poke
fucking
me. You will
messages.
never,
He's
ever
unpokeable.
poke me.
He is unpokeable.
Can I poke you in
Even
chat?
by the time that I joined Facebook in 2009, the poke was antiquated and I didn't ever see anyone use it really.
Okay.
Unless they were doing it as like a weird ironic thing.
Right.
Yeah, and it's the minute you think about it for more than 15 seconds, it's a weird thing to do to somebody
Yes.
on the internet or off the internet. So why would you make that like a core feature?
Well, it's a flirt. Because again, you have to think about this in the context of a college Facebook. You see a girl who's cute, you go on her page, maybe she doesn't know who you are, maybe you don't even have the gumption to send her a friend request yet, but what you can do is you can send her a poke. And she can choose to reciprocate the poke or not, but like nothing ventured, nothing gained, right?
Yeah. We're looking at the template for Facebook back at this time. Josh pulled up a screenshot of it, and it's showing this guy Wayne, and it says view more photos of Wayne. Read notes by Wayne. That's the old blog setup that it had.
Yeah.
Jump in a fountain of Wayne.
View all of Wayne's friends. Send Wayne a message. View message history. And then it just says, Poke him! With an exclamation point. Everything else has his name, or it's like
It's so
really vague,
aggressive.
like report this person, but then it's like, it's gender only, exclamation point.
Poke him!
Poke him!
Do it!
I just imagine people going around bars before Facebook, just being like approaching people they think are attractive and just going poke.
By the
like,
way,
right in the goddamn ribs.
Brian, go on Facebook and check your notifications real quick.
Josh, if you've done something to me, I swear to Christ.
Yeah.
He is unpokeable.
Just take a look. Take a
You
look
son of a bitch!
It turns out that
Josh
you can.
Borman poked you!
Here's the current.
I've remained unpoked.
Well, now
gonna
with that
poke you
fucking
back,
attitude.
dude.
No, oh
Wait,
God.
now I have suggested pokes. It's telling me to poke people.
Wait, so what does that
It's
mean?
like a whole hidden page. I'm poking you, Josh. Yeah, I've
Okay,
got a
thank you, Brian.
former coworker here.
Uh-huh.
I've got my girlfriend. I've got.
Oh
okay.
God damn it! He poked me too.
So the current poke
You both
interface
poked me!
We
is
both
actually
poked you, bitch.
So many possible
Hey there, you are listening to a preview of a premium episode of The Worst of All Possible Worlds. If you'd like to listen to the rest of this, head on over to our Patreon. That's patreon.com/worstofall. And you can listen to not only the rest of this episode, but our entire backlog of premium episodes, bonus episodes, and if you subscribe at the $10 tier, you will get an extra episode of the podcast every single month. Again, that is patreon.com/worstofall. Hope to see you there.